preparation, like most things. If you've done the prep, then you're prepared for it. And you know, I do a lot of rehearsing with the band, and so hopefully by the time we get to the first date, it won't all be a surprise.
Right. Okay. You're going to be playing a few old songs. Is there one song that you never tire of playing? I know some songs need a rest, but is there one song that you never tire of?
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's not a Stranglers song. It's one from a very early solo record I made called Nosferatu.
All right. Yes.
Have you heard of that?
I have. Yes. I'm 53. I just about remember that. Just slipped under the wire, that one, I think.
Yeah, and there's a song, it's an instrumental called Mothra, and it's so difficult to play, and it's real fun to play, and I never, ever, ever get bored with playing it, because you've got to be awake to get it right.
Right.
There's all sorts of weird timings in it and stuff, and, you know, whoever I'm playing with, we love playing that song. It's so weird, and we're gonna throw that one in too.
Okay. I've been enjoying the album. I'm just touching on production. Do you ever get hands-on with production, or did Sony whisk you away to a glorious studio for that, Hugh, for the new album?
Say that again?
Well, I'm just talking about production. It's changed so much. I just wondered if you ever got hands-on with production, on this album, or was it all completely studio?
I produced this record.
Oh, you produced it? Okay, that's pretty. So my wife's a musician, and she sits with a laptop, and it's incredible what you can do with the technology now.
That's amazing. But I mean, I still work in a studio, but it is digital.
Yeah.
And it's amazing what you can do. You're right.
Yeah.
I mean, I've got a very good engineer and we've been working so long together that when he does all the twiddling of the knobs, and I explain the way I want it to sound.
Right.
He's got to the stage now where I record something, and he knows, he's sort of got an idea of what I like.
Like a hand in glove, yeah, that's brilliant. The standout track for me is Mr.
And he prepares it for me, and I go, that's great, or that's almost there. Can you just make it a little bit more like that?
Yeah.
And, that saves a lot of time if you've got those sort of relationships.
Of course, yeah. The standout track for me is Mr. Leather. I'm a big Lou Reed fan. I love the way that the song, not only lyrically but in its style, it's very Lou Reed. Was that obviously intentional that you did that?
Yeah, of course. I mean, if you're going to write a song about Lou Reed, it's got to sound a bit like him, isn't it? So, well, I think so anyway. So, yeah.
And you never met. You never met and you never met him. I read the story that you missed meeting with him.
Yeah, that's the whole thing about that's what the song's about. It's a story of us not meeting.
Yeah.
We were going to meet in New York, and then we both got sick at the same time when a blizzard happened.
Yeah.
And then the white came, the big white.
There's a film there somewhere. There's a film there somewhere. I kind of really wish you'd have met him.
Well, it's such a shame because I was really looking forward to meeting him, and I hear that he was looking forward to meeting me, and we were going to have a great evening together. And then we both got this sick, and that was it.
Yeah.
And,
Hugh, was music always your first love, or did it have a mistress? I know I've been looking into your novel writing, which is, I'm in awe of that. Anybody that can write novels, the two that you've written, was music the first love?
Well, I mean, music was easily accessible. I mean, I don't read that much now, but I used to be an obsessive reader. I used to read a lot of novels when I was a kid, and read a lot up until about the age of about 35 or so. I've read a lot of stuff. Fiction. I was really a good fiction reader and a fan of it. But the thing is that to read a book, you've got to put energy into reading a book. In the sense, you've got to sit down and find the time. Whereas music, it's in the air, so you can be doing something else and you can hear something unintentionally. And that's why I think music became the most important thing to me early on, rather than writing.
Yeah, but I mean can I talk about Arnold Drive? Are you okay with that? I mean, because those characters and Jamie Thornberry, the character in Window on the World, those characters that they must have come from inside of you. I think it's just really, it touches me. Do you know what I mean? That the ability to be able to produce those novels as well as write songs.
Sometimes when you're writing a novel and you've got to make people up, sometimes a lot of the time you reference people that you use them as a basis. So a lot of the people in those two books, they've got something to do with people I know.
Yeah, absolutely.
Or maybe someone earlier, a few years ago that you don't see anymore. But there's something about them that stays in your mind, and you use that as a starting point, to create your characters.
I'd love to go back to as early influences you musically. What were you listening to when you were young? Did you listen to your parents' music?
Well, yeah. I mean, my dad used to put on Wally White's. There was a country and western music show on a Saturday night. On the radio, he used to put that on. He used to listen to all the classical music, and then my brother was into jazz, and we shared a bedroom together, and he wouldn't let me touch his records. So I found out about Mose Allison when I was 12 years old, and then my other brother came back with Eddie Cochran records, and I was getting all bombarded with all this stuff, and then the Stones and the Beatles, and then Chuck Berry. Wow, Chuck Berry, what a great guy, what a great, interesting songs to listen to, real stories, almost a novel. Each one of his songs was like a novel.
Yeah.
And and it just took you off to different places. So I had my musical education in those years was like a very, very rich fruitcake, with the odd cherry in it.
Yeah.
There was raisins, sultanas, and all the different kinds of milk. I had very, very rich, and I'm very, very fortunate, I think, to have had been exposed to so many different kinds of music when I was a kid, and unfortunately, I'm paying the price for it now.
Okay, well, I'm just going to touch on the single finally, if that's okay, Hugh. When I saw it, I couldn't help thinking. It took me straight back to Jason and the Argonauts, and that, the Harryhausen things. Were you aware of him from a young age, or was it just something that you put together on the album because it fascinated you? Or
well, I'd seen those films. They're great. They came back from my childhood. I thought, my God, and then there was a great documentary made, a full-length film documentary about him, where all these filmmakers, Lucas and Spielberg, they're all saying without Harryhausen, he was the inspiration to get them to help them make films. And when you hear of those sort of people saying that, this guy must have been a giant.
Yeah.
In his own way.
And back then, it was all hand done. It was, it's kind of like real work, if you like. It was no computer generated images like there is today.
Exactly. Do you know now? You might not be aware of this, but you know now that these big budget action films now, they're not using CGI anymore. They're going back to real effects.
Oh, real stuntmen.
And the reason is because they're finding that audiences are so used to CGI that it's not affecting them anymore.
Yeah.
Because they go, oh yeah, this is CGI.
Yeah.
They're shunning it all now, and they're going back to the real thing, which is amazing.
Well, I think that's going to happen in a lot of arts. I think that's happening in music. I think overproduction now somebody can go into their bedroom and create music without it being overproduced. And I think that's going to be happening. Purism. Yeah. Thanks ever so much, Hugh. I'm looking forward. I'm going to try and catch you at one of your shows, and if I get a chance to say hello.
Where are you based?
I'm in Holloway Road, not far from you, I don't think.
Okay, so this Face Mag, what's that?
It's an online magazine. We're doing really well. It's very It's very personal to me. I'm creating a brand, and I've got some gorgeous pictures of you, and it'll look fantastic. Trust me, because I'm a big fan of yours.
Okay, well, thanks for speaking. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, thanks for the chat, you. It was really lovely. Thanks so much. See you soon.
Well, take care.
Bye-bye. Bye.